it amazed me that we didn't prepare for hit-and-run tactics and to get out of the loop road that was in Dutch Timor, and into which we were caught because of the lack of foresight of our senior officers, all of whom were, I think, steeped in the fixed strategies of World War I, unmindful of the need for hit and run when you were an inferior force with no air or sea defence. The Japanese just come down there in their ships, cruisers, destroyers. We were bombed daily after the first bombing on the 26th of January 1942. Striking Australia Day.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I understand the Japanese had quite a large number of paratroopers, or troops who landed by paratroopers.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to tell how many there were. There were probably something like between 1,000 and 1,200. They landed them in two groups. They landed on the upcountry side of the ring road that I speak about in Dutch Timor. In fact, suspicious activity had been seen there by a number of people, and a number of us wanted to run reconnaissances in there, and the Timorese were very nervous about the whole thing. And anyway, that is where they landed. Their paratroops would have been the 20th of February. They landed the first lot. The second lot were on the 21st. We were more strongly armed. They had .28 rifles. We had the standard Lee Enfield 303. We had Vickers and Lewis machine guns. Their grenades were just like crackers almost. They'd hit them on their head and then throw it. Whereas the grenades that we had were about 2.5 pound Mills grenades. Very dangerous. And say one of the other officers, junior to me in our unit, while we were in Darwin, we trained our troops, went on night marches, trained them how to move around in the tropics, and when it was raining. See, the rainy season was on at that excuse me, at that time of the year. So our troops were pretty skilled in the use of hand grenades, and also, in fact, three of our Fortress Company engineers killed about something like some hundreds of these Japanese. Just kept marching up the road. They got a Lewis machine gun. Two of them were using it. The third one was filling the whatever they call the barrels, the ammunition.
We'll call it magazine for what.
Yeah, the magazine. The two who worked the gun both got military medals, and I think I mentioned to you the third one. I think you told me that often these things are just restricted to two people.
Yeah, like a ration.
Yeah. The third one got nothing. The two of them got military medals. One of them, the boy, was 15 at the time. He was 6'2". He was pretty tall. Yeah. But he was.
What was his name? Do you remember?
Ken Hickey.
Ken Hickey.
Sapper Ken Hickey. And I have a newspaper photograph of here of his being awarded the military medal by. It was the Governor General at the time. The Governor General had been the Premier of New South Wales, McKill. Sir William McKill.
Now, I'm asking this for a reason. You'll probably pick it. You had a British, what was it, anti-aircraft battery there with you, did you?
Yeah, we did.
Tell us a bit about them and how
it was either the 75th or the 78th. I've got the numbers a bit mixed.
Might be the 79th even.
It might even be that. Yeah, they turned up. I don't know why they turned up, but they turned up.
They came in after you, did they? They came in after you?
They came in after us.
Yeah.
And they came only a few days before the Japanese landed, which was the 19th of February. And yes, I was on the road one day and met these fellas, and they were having a marvellous time. And it's easy to get inspired by people who have known action when you've never seen it yourself and you're apprehensive. You think every shot is aimed at you, and you come to realise that that's not so. And they were very inspiring. Their officer commanding was Major John Dempsey, and I saw them on the road one day to Babot. It's a road out from Kupang. And there they were taking pot shots at these Japanese planes, which were just flying around unmolested by anybody. As I say, we had no air support at all. They were just flying around. Anyway, I was there with them one day, and two things happened that I remember. There was a reconnaissance plane flying around, and they hit it. The language I've used and they had used is slap in the guts. And down it came, and the sons of heaven were on their way to meet their ancestors in their shrine. It's funny the attitude you have to that sort of thing. It brought such relief to know that just for a little while we've got our own back. The second thing of importance was I got a shot of their rum. The English, we had no spirits at all, but the English had rum, and I got a shot of that, and I got another one. I'd been a teetotaler up until that time, but no longer. You talk about Dutch courage. I don't know what it does. It gives you a good feeling, and to see the plane shot down. So we were ready for anything, just as well we were too, because we got cleaned up.
Now, what were the Dutch doing while this was going on?
The Dutch?
The Dutch army.
Well, I don't know exactly where they went, but they were not with us in the fight with the Japanese. And I think there were about some 300 or 400 or 500 of them. But after we were captured and made prisoners of war, they told us how well we had fought because they watched us through binoculars.
Yeah. Now, what about our own RAAF? How many aircraft might there have been in the area, and what were they doing?
Well, the only planes that were there were those Lockheed Hudsons. When we first arrived, they were on Penfui aerodrome. Wing Commander Headlam was the commanding officer of, I think it was number two squadron. After the 26th of January, when they just came and shot up Penfui, the aircraft was shifted away from Penfui to sort of an airfield out by the Mina River, and the Japs never found that for some time. But they had to be shifted off Penfui because there was no way of defending it. And anyway, Lockheed Hudson was no match for those Japanese fighters, and they just flew down from Kendari and Ambon with their belly tanks on. They didn't even take their belly tanks off while they shot us up. Incredible. Well, the RAF then vacated Penfui. Now, the purpose of Penfui and Sparrow Force, as I understand it, was, well, firstly, pompously to deny the sheltered waters of Kupang Bay to the enemy, and to keep Penfui aerodrome alive, because Penfui was on the route from Darwin to Java. They'd come, it's about 500 miles. So they landed at Penfui, and there were P-40s being assembled in Australia to assist, I think, in the defence of Java. Well, when Penfui was evacuated, of course, there was really no point in fixed defences trying to protect the sheltered waters of Kupang Bay from the enemy. In any case, they didn't land in Kupang Bay. They landed on the south coast of Timor, and came around this ring road. Came around two ways. Firstly, to supplement and I did find out the numbers of the battalions, to supplement the paratroops, say pretty well all of whom we killed. We